I was talking to a guy yesterday who voted for President Obama, and he said to me, extraordinarily, he said, well, maybe this is what you get when you elect somebody who, before he was president, had never actually run something. And I know Mitt Romney had talked a lot about that in the last election cycle, but when you look at it, if you run a company before, you know whether or not you've hired the right people, you figure out whether or not you're asking the right questions. And in this particular case, the buck stops with the president, although you never know that listening to Jay Carney, but he did not apparently hire the right people, and he did not ask the right questions. And now, here we are. And extraordinarily, and unfortunately for him, even members of his own party who have backed him without fail are starting to say, you know what, you got to delay this because it's not working out right correctly. In fact, they're siding with the Republicans.
The only one with any guts is Joe Manchin. During the big debate, when everyone was sitting in their corners refusing to negotiate, he's the only one who came forward and said, I had some problems with it. You have the others now who say, oh, yeah, I got a huge problem with it, but you're gutless. During the debate, when you could have actually helped the country and helped the program that your party put forward, you did nothing. Now you see it's a disaster, and you're trying to save your own butt. Here's Senator Joe Manchin.
It should be a transition year for 1 year. There should be no fines. And let's work through the problems. We've got a lot of problems. They've been identified. I think everybody's recognized them. Let's fix it.
Right. Well, as it turns out, there is going to be a delay of 6 weeks.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with the stink bomb rollout regarding the website. Because there was some kind of vague language in the original law, now what they're going to do is if you buy insurance up to March 31st, you won't get a fine. There was some question about whether or not if you bought it around, you had to buy it around, I think, Valentine's Day.
Yes.
But now they're going to be very clear, giving people another 6 weeks to buy it.
But, Steve, look how many we have up there. 8 congressmen, 3 senators. How much? That's after 1 day. What about the end of the week? They could lose total momentum. The president might have his hand forced by someone like Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who's a leader with the party, Schultz, a leader in the party. Even Nancy Pelosi has said this is unacceptable. How could the president hold off his own party much longer?
I don't actually know that he can, Brian. I think you made a valid point right there, and I would suspect that we're going to be seeing perhaps what Joe Manchin is requesting, maybe even a year delay coming out.
And keep in mind, on that grid right there, a number of those are U.S. senators, Democrats, who are up in tough reelection. So you can see why they would be doing that. But ultimately, if a number of Democrats switch to the other side, they're effectively saying, you know what, the Republicans were right. The Republicans wanted to delay things because they hadn't worked out the bugs, and now we're going to have to go over to their side, their way.